Good morning, Grade 9 students. Welcome back to our class. The Little Girl, a wonderful, heart touching story written by Catherine Mansfield Maury. See, in the previous two classes, we came to know the child's, means the Kejia's anxiety to give a gift. In the second episode, we saw that she mistook her father because when she was about to say, I have done all the things, stuffed all the papers, stored the papers, and stuff in this cushion because of your birthday, because it's your birthday, she tried to say, but unable to convince her father because he was in rage, he was in anger, furious, because the papers were kept there for the next day's documentation and also the next day's presentation in his office, the Port Authority linked documentation. So he was totally angry. She has taken a beating from her father, and next, grandmother consoled her. Now come to page number 35 of your textbook, ninth paragraph. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. Tag in the evening. The father with a baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging on to his coat pockets, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them, laughing all the time. Here, the writer Catherine Mansfield, she tries to tell us about Kezia's neighbors. Her neighbors were a family named McDonalds, right? In all, the McDonalds had 5 children. Totally, they have 5 children, it seems. And Kezia would peep at them through a hole in the fence. She would see that the family had a lot of fun. They played a game called tag. Tag is a children's game of catching one another, like we play just catch me, and they will be running here and there hiding, like that. So all the children, along with their father, would have a lot of fun. Mr. McDonald would make his little baby Mao sit on his shoulders, and the 2 little daughters that he had, they would hang onto his coat pockets. So all the children were so much attached to their father. They loved him so much that they would stick to him. And then they would run around the garden, around the flower beds, and they would laugh and laugh and laugh, it seems. Kezia also wanted to have such fun with her father, and she missed it. There is some misunderstanding between Kezia's father and this little girl, Kezia. One day she saw that the little sons of Mrs. McDonald opened the hose on him, means the pipe, water pipe like thing. They opened the water pipe and tried to make him wet. But Mr. McDonald was not angry with them. He tried to catch them and he was laughing. This was very strange for Kezia because her father was just opposite of Mr. McDonald. Naturally, if any such situations comes in our houses also, means father is scolding always or mother is scolding always, automatically as a human psychology we'll compare our friends' fathers how they are treating. See, my friend father is very close to him or her, but my father is not close. Just we'll compare by seeing others or our neighbors. The same practical situation here in this paragraph also. Then it was she decided there were different sorts of fathers. Now when Kezia saw Mr. McDonald's, she realized that he was quite opposite to her father. She felt that God had made various kinds of father. Till now, what she has questioned? What did God make fathers for? She sobbed. That line is there in the 8th paragraph, 5th line or something. But now, she came to a conclusion that she felt that God had made various kinds of fathers, it seems. Now come to next line. Suddenly, one day, mother became ill, and she and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice and the cook. That was all right in the daytime, but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. So, what happened here? One day, Kezia's mother fell ill. So, she was taken to the hospital, and the grandmother accompanied her to the hospital. And when Kezia was all alone at home with the cook there, by name Alice, now Kezia was fine during the daytime, no problem. She was playing here and there or doing some craft work, okay. But at night, when the cook put Kezia to bed all alone, Kezia started feeling completely scared, it seems. What I will do if I have a nightmare? She asked. Nightmare means a bad dream. So Kezia asked Elise, the cook, if she had a bad dream, what would she do all alone? I often have nightmares, and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispering. So she asked a question, what shall I do if I get a nightmare? And immediately she started explaining the previous experience. Kezia explained to Alice that whenever she had nightmares, means whenever Kezia had nightmares, she would go to her grandmother and she would sleep with her so that she could not stay all alone in the dark because she would be scared. Now she could hear different kind of whispering sounds which made her feel that there was someone around her. Means her imagination or her scare feeling, whatever it may be. Now Alice is answering. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, pulling off her socks, and don't you scream and wake your poor pa. Don't scream or don't shout and wake your poor pa. Why here poor pa we can see. So Kezia's father was sleeping in the next room and Alice told Kezia to sleep quietly. She removed Kezia's socks and asked her not to scream. She warned her not to scream means not to shout, and she put the bed sheet, the cover, and then and not to wake her father. But Kezia was helpless. Come to page number 37. But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma! Grandma! She woke shivering to see her father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. Here, a butcher means a person who cuts animals, who cuts meat. So, now this is the nightmare that Kezia had often, every time she used to get. She would see a butcher, it seems. So, this butcher would hold a big knife, a huge butcher's knife and a rope, and he would approach Kezia. That is her nightmare. He had a dreadful smile. What is the smile look like? Like adjective dreadful on his face, it seems. And once Kezia would see him, she would feel that she was unable to move from bed. She was so much scared of him. She was terrified to see this butcher in a nightmare. And in her sleep, Kezia cried out for help, help. She called for grandmother. When Kezia woke up, she was shivering like anything. She was trembling, and she saw that her father was standing next to her bed as soon as she woke up. And he was holding a candle in his hand. So Kezia's father had heard her screams in the next room where he was sleeping, and he had heard that Kezia was calling for her grandmother, and he had come to help her at that time. And he asked, "What's the matter?" Why she was screaming, "Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want granny." Kezia was still scared of the nightmare, not only nightmare but seeing her father also. She said that there was a butcher and he was holding a dreadful knife and she wanted her grandmother. He blew out the candle, Kezia's father. He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. Immediately what he has done? Here we can see the affection that Kezia's father has for her. He blew the candle off. Here OFF. He lifted her and carried her to his bedroom. See, we can see the affection and concern and love towards his daughter, Kezia. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. Here, tucked up in the sense covered up nicely in bed. So Kezia's father, what he has done, lay her in his bed next to him and covered her with top sheets, means bed sheets. He lay down beside her, half asleep still with the butcher's smile all about her. It seemed she crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. Kezia. Snuggled means moved into a warm, comfortable position, close to another person. Now here, Kezia felt her father's affection and so she went close to him. She snuggled herself towards her father, means moved into very warm and comfortable position. What is the comfortable position? Father here. And she held his shirt tightly so that she would not feel scared again. And now Kezia had overcome her fear of her father, naturally. Then the dark did not matter, she lay still. And now once Kezia was with her father, she was no longer afraid. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. He asked Kezia to rub her feet against his legs so that they became warm, it seems. Tired out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. What it seems? A funny feeling. So as Kezia's father was very tired, he slept before she did. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big. After all, and with no one to look after him, he was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. And every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. Donald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred suddenly and sighed. Now here Kezia realizes her mistake and she had affection towards her father. Just in the previous paragraph also we discussed it. She felt that her father was a poor man. How poor here? Because he worked so hard. He was not so big as she found him to be earlier. Now she felt that her father was a poor man who worked very hard. So he got so tired that he went off to sleep and did not play with her like Mr. MacDonald did with his children. But Kezia felt that her father's heart was also full of love for her. She realizes that she has torn up his important document, the speech that he has written. And all this realization made a shoot, and then she take a deep breath. She realizes that she had been wrong, and that is why her father had beaten her. He had been so strict with her. So now she came to a realization that my father bet on that day because to know what to do, what not to do, which does not belongs to her. That realization now she got. Not at that time when she took the beatings, but now she got the realization why her father bet her at that time. That is a funny thing what she was thinking. Now come to the next line. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? Although Kezia's father was asleep, he heard her sigh. That is called sigh. He heard the sound that Kezia made and he asked her, what's the matter? Was she again watching a bad dream? Then this girl Kezia answered, oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. What she said? Kezia replied to her father that she had placed her head on her father's heart and she could hear his heartbeat also. And she complimented her father that he had a big heart. Means understanding here. Big heart in the sense, very understanding heart. So Kezia is showing her love for her father as she had realized that her father also loved her, it seems. So that's why she was calling Father dear, no stammering now that we observed. Children, did you observe? No stammering. No, 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 I'm not doing that. Stammering is not there. Oh, said the little girl. See the last lines. My head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, Father dear. So that is the love and affection of a father. The beautiful heart-touching story written by Catherine Mansfield Maury. That's all for today. We have completed the lesson. Once again, if possible, if needed, part 1 and 2 also you listen. Okay? Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.